We got a full lineup today. I have 11 speakers for you. Woo!
Woo! Okay, let's squeeze in. I'll be first. Yeah.
But like, just heads up, like.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. I'm just first doing this.
Yeah. So we're just gonna divide you a little bit so you guys look like a big, good community. Oh, nice to meet you, Jordan. I know we had met previously. That's why. That's fine. I can meet you all. Okay. You'll be set. Okay. Can we for people in the back step down a little bit? Scooch. We're gonna, come in a little bit. We like each other, right? We are community. We got our advocates in me. Yeah. We're working on it. We're rolling with it. This is why I use ChatGPT for the chants. I hope people should have chant things. Yeah, there's new chants. We'll be giving those out. Okay. Thank you for coming out this morning. Can you make some noise? Okay. When I say incorporate, you said 988. Okay? Can we start incorporate? 988. Incorporate. 988. Incorporate. 988. Incorporate. 988. Okay. Now we're gonna try our next one. That one was a little bit different. I changed it up a little bit, right? Jet 2, okay. It's kind of like that awful commercial, like need cash now, jig, whatever, right? A little bit. Not exactly, but a little bit, okay?
Right.
So it's, I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. And then we'll take a breath and then say, don't call the cops for mental health care. 988 can send help there. So not exactly, but slightly. I clearly spent a lot of years at summer camp, and I only know how to eat dance. That's okay. So ready? Okay. I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental health care. 988 can send help there. That was great! So, we're going to kick it off with our first speaker, my dear friend, steering committee member, and honestly, one of my right hands, Joelle Bellem-Schwan from the Supportive Housing Network.
Thanks, Jordan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Again, I'm Joelle. I'm with the Supportive Housing Network of New York. We're a membership and advocacy organization representing over 200 nonprofits that provide supportive housing across the state. And we are proud members of Correct Crisis Intervention today. Mental health crisis response is deeply personal to me. I've lost loved ones to mental health crises, and in our supportive housing community, we know how harmful it can be when police are the default responders. We need an alternative system. We need real, peer-led, non-police crisis response, one that brings compassion, de-escalation, and care, not trauma, not criminalization, not death. When Be Heard was launched, it was meant to be a health-centered alternative, but because it relies on 911, over 60% of mental health calls still end in a police response.
That's not right!
That's why we're here today. Be Heard needs 988. Mental health crises do not belong in 911. We urge the City Council to expand and strengthen the 988 system so it can be directly dispatched to Be Heard teams and ensure that everyone who reaches out gets compassionate and appropriate care.
Yes.
And while we're here today focused on 988, we're laser focused every day on another Be Heard priority, getting peers on response teams. Woo! Who is better equipped to respond than someone who's lived it? No one. Peers, not police. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you so much, Joelle, for kicking off this great rally. Next up, we have an advocate from the Treatment Not Jail Coalition, whose name is Ibrahim Ayu. He is also a peer. Come on up, Ibrahim.
How's everybody doing? My name is Ibrahim. That's good. My name is Ibrahim Ayu, and I have very, very deep lived experience with this topic. Okay, I had a mental health diagnosis which led to me being frequently incarcerated. Okay, for not committing actual crimes, but they always had a stigma, like a menace in this or disorderly conduct over here. But it was just criminalizing mental health. Okay, and I went through the treatment court in Manhattan, right at the block here, and they looked at me not as a criminal, but as somebody that could be changed. Okay, they wanted me to do 7 years. Instead, I didn't do any years. I was given probation, and I was able to, number one, get my own apartment and come off the street. Number two, get a job working for the city. Number three, become a chairperson of the Judge Reform Committee for the Brooklyn NAACP chapter. Start my own nonprofit and have a program called Rise to Rikers, where I got a donated van to take kids to go visit their family members at Rikers Island who can't afford it. This is what it means when we talk about justice reform. We have to stop looking at people as criminals and start looking at them as peers. Because that's how I changed from a so-called criminal into somebody that can stand before you today. So we need 988 to respond instead of 911. Yudes Pierre will be alive today. Zahid Bassett will be alive today. Deborah Donner will be alive today. There's many people, anybody you can name, there's so many names. And that's the problem. We want to stop the name flow. We want to take these names and make, I'm not bragging on myself, but we need people to look at the mentally ill that they could possibly be like me one day. Because there was a day when I didn't look like this. Okay? But people, before 988 was involved, I had individual people like Casey Del Parto and Maria Rodriguez at New York County Defenders that looked at me as an individual. And that's why I'm standing today. There's no other way to work with mental health. There's no other way to address mental health than to be with people that also have mental health issues. I'm currently going through my training to get my peer certification through the Academy of Peer Services. Why? Because I want to join those teams. I want to go and talk to the people that are having quote-unquote crises because police are there with their guns in their face. I want to get beyond the guns and I want to talk. What's going on with you? Because that's what they did for me and that's how I changed. Okay? And that's all I have to say, but my main message is we need 988 no matter what. And we need peers to go and meet people there because we understand ourselves. We can police ourselves because with me, it was just a cry out for relationship. It was a cry out to stop being unnoticed and to be discarded. It was a cry out. So if we start listening to that cry and hear people's cry, like the Bible says, then we can heal our land. Amen.
Thank you! We're gonna do another chant to get up the spirit, okay? Right, we're gonna do chant number 1. Incorporate 988! Incorporate 988! It can't wait! It can't wait! Incorporate 988! It can't wait! It can't wait! Incorporate 988! It can't wait! It can't wait! Incorporate 988! Woo! Should we try the other one or do we want to break? Okay, we want to break. That's okay. I accept it. I take direction. Not like the city. Woo! Anyway, next up we have a community activist from the Bronx who also is a friend of Sanaya Cheatham, who you may have heard about, who tragically lost her life in a police station while having a mental health crisis. So I please bring up Alyssa Valentine. Woo!
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I want to start by thanking Jordan and everybody that invited me to this event to speak about something that is very dear to me. If you don't know who I am Alyssa Rose Valentine, and I am a mental health advocate based in the Bronx. I am here today because of everything that I went through and the circumstances I saw many people go to with their mental health disability in New York City. I believe that being heard and 988 is special and it's definitely needed. One time, I've asked a police officer how many mental health crisis you get. And he said that he gets one every single day. I believe that police officers are not equipped to handle this. I believe we need people who can help people at their most vulnerable, because we are all people and we are all deserving of life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Woo! Next up, we have the Executive Director of the National Alliance of Mental Illness New York City chapter, who is a great steering committee partner with their colleagues and whatnot. Sorry, I'm blabbling. Maggie Mortale! Woo!
Thank you all for being here. I'm Maggie Mortale. I'm the Executive Director of NAMI New York City, and our city must improve mental health crisis response. Be Heard launched as a pilot, but it does not meet the need. 1 in 5 New Yorkers lives with mental illness. Yet a city council audit found that over 60% of calls in pilot areas were deemed, quote, ineligible for a Be Heard response.
Shame, shame,
Shame!
Only about half resulted in a mental health assessment. Be Heard still responds with police. Be Heard still responds with police. And in the last decade, at least 21 New Yorkers in crisis have been killed by the NYPD.
shame.
This is a public health crisis, and it demands a public health response.
Right.
We need safer, peer-centered model, like CCIT NYC's vision. We share with our coalition partners. Peers must be central to crisis response. Their lived experience brings empathy, it brings compassion, it leads to de-escalation. To do better, we must invest in our infrastructure. We need sustainable funding for 988. Other states have done this. They've created funding streams to support awareness, call centers, and mobile response. New York City must follow. With funding in place, all crisis response teams can be routed through 988. Law enforcement should no longer be the default. 988 should connect fully with 911 and 311 so no one falls through the cracks. We will not accept New Yorkers with mental illness being left behind. We must center lived experience. We must prevent harm. We must invest in 988 so people get the help they need when they need it. Thank you.
I think it's also really important to talk about how we are also afraid that 988 could be used as a way to reinforce police and, causing further trauma. And what I mean by that is, so with everything that's been going on lately, have people been feeling kind of down? Yeah. So yeah.
Especially because they made a thing and they said that people with autism are caused by typing. Autism has been around since 1911.
It's not connected. But anyway, what I was gonna say was, last night I was feeling particularly down. I've just been really overwhelmed with a lot of things. And I even was sending an email at 3 a.m., which is unlike me. My colleague knows because she was on the receiving end of that email. Anyway, I thought about calling 988 for a second. And I stopped and I didn't. Because I was scared that if I was asked the question, do you have plans to hurt yourself? Or if you have a suicide plan, even if I said no, that police would show up to my door. And that is a serious problem. When we talk about the incorporation of 988 into Be Heard, We are talking about creating safe spaces where people can reach out for help and are not harmed by the response that comes to their door. I should have been able to call last night, and I thought about the irony of me being here at this moment and needing that support and deciding not to use it because of the fear of a police response. And that's coming from a white woman. So my next colleague who's going to talk about the importance of having 988 funding and integration is my colleague Donovan Taveras, a community organizer at Legal Defense Fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Peace and good morning, everybody. My name is Donovan Taveras. I'm a community organizer at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund.
Donovan.
We are here this morning touting the very thing that is so obvious to some, but too often is not taken seriously, and that is that New Yorkers deserve care and not criminalization.
That's right.
If you have a heart attack, you get doctors and a hospital.
That's right.
Not criminalization.
That's right.
But if you're having a mental health crisis, too often the first response is still the police, and that puts lives at risk, and we've seen that happen before. Too many times. And that's why 988 is so critical. When someone calls, they should get real help. Call centers that can resolve most situations, mobile crisis teams that show up fast to de-escalate,
Right.
and safe places like crisis respite centers where people can stabilize and get support.
Right.
988 must be a true gateway to care, not another pathway that funnels people into violent encounters. But instead of investing in this system, the mayor has attempted time and time again to cut health funding to boost the NYPD's budget.
That ain't right.
And this has only deepened the cycle of neglect and criminalization, especially for Black New Yorkers who face higher risk of police violence, and for people with mental and behavioral health disabilities who are disproportionately harmed when police are the first responders. We know what works. Supported housing, peer support, community-based treatment, mobile outreach. The City Council must hold agencies accountable to make sure 988 is fully accessible to those who truly deserve the care that the city should be providing.
Right.
We are here because we know that real public safety comes from care that is invested in, accessible, culturally competent, and trauma-informed.
Right.
Thank you.
Preach.
Thank you so much for that powerful testimony. Let's do a chant, okay? We're gonna do the second one. I'll prep you again so we can learn it, because now we have some new people, and I know it's a little hard, right? Okay, so it's gonna go, I need a response that knows what to do, 988 for me and you. So, and then it's, don't call the cops for mental health care, 988 can send help there. I'm gonna say it again, and then we'll do it all together, okay? So, I need a response that knows what to do, 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental health care, 988 can send help there. You guys are lucky I didn't do the part after that, which is like, sound off, 1, 2, 3, 4, bring it all down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I wasn't a cheerleader. I just went to summer camp. It's good for your mental health. Not the price though. Anyway, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental health care. 988 can send help there. Woo! You guys are great. Yeah, I know, right? Same. Okay, next up we have longtime advocate, and she is like a mental health queen in this space. Christina Sparrow, who is the mental health chair of the 505 here and the founder of the New York City Mental Health Collective.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Christina Sparrow, and I'm the mental health chair of the 504 Democratic Club, the first political club in the nation that fights for the rights and inclusion for people with disabilities. We stand here today because we know that people with disabilities are the largest minority group in the country, and too often we are left out of the conversation.
Right.
And that stops now, am I right?
Yes.
That stops now. Because you know what? We matter. We matter.
Right.
Woo! We demand a seat at the table, not as a favor, but because we bring knowledge, strength, and experience. Too many lives have been lost simply because people experiencing an emotional crisis were met with police instead of care. Let me be clear. Mental illness is not a crime.
Say it louder!
It's not a crime.
That's right.
Illness is not a crime.
And
Say it
we must-
again! Mental illness is not a crime.
And we must stop treating it as such. That's why we support Daniel's Law, a transformative policy that ensures trained peer specialists are included in the crisis response. Daniel's Law centers public health, human dignity, and trauma-informed care. It's exactly the kind of system that we need in New York City.
Right.
And this is why we stand here with CCIT, NYC, all these organizations to support this change. We are also calling for the expansion of 988, a national mental health hotline, national mental health crisis line, as an alternative to 911. Because a public health response is not only more compassionate, it's more effective. We must strengthen the funding of Be Heard, and just importantly, we must ensure that Be Heard is 24/7, 365 days of the year, because mental illness is not on a timer. So our services shouldn't be on business hours. It should be 24 hours. And the Be Heard team must include peer specialists, people with lived experience that brings empathy, understanding, cultural relevance to every call. When someone is experiencing an emotional crisis, or PEC, person experiencing an emotional crisis, they deserve dignity, not handcuffs. Dignity, not handcuffs. They deserve support to help them with their unmet needs, whether it's housing, whether it's criminal justice system, whether it's health care, that prevents them from having crisis. And they deserve a system that believes in their ability to heal and thrive. It's about humanity, am I right? It's about humanity.
Yes.
We have the tools, we have evidence, like the Daniel's Law Task Force, which I'm a part of, has proven. We have solutions, but now we need political will. Make the changes, make the transformations, and we need it now. And as we say in the community, nothing about us without us. And I end there.
Really, my voice, oh my goodness, this happens every time. You think I'd be better by, now, knowing what to do. Maybe I need voice lessons, I don't know. Anyway, next up, we have someone who I met through this space, and every time she talks, not only am I left feeling inspired, but I'm left feeling kind of badass, and that I want to be kind of spicy. So, up next is the Executive Director of Sydney, New York, Dr. Sharon McLennan-Weir. Or do you want to face the crowd, or do you want to face? Okay, you can kind of do sideways here right now. Or here, stand a little bit like this so he can see you. And
Okay,
then,
someone there. Hi there.
there's the camera. Okay, there now.
All right.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. To talk as loud as I can. I want to advocate today on behalf of
of over 25% of the population of New York City that is disabled. And we're here to talk about disability pride. And the reason I say that is because it's important for all of us to know that at any point in your life, you can become disabled. That's right. That's right. We are here to protect invisible disabilities, just like obvious ones like this one. It's very important for you to know that a mental health disability can happen at any point. 10 years ago, I was doing my job, going to work like any New Yorker. And because of an inaccessible transit system, I fell in a subway track and almost died. But what came out of that was the fact that 2 young men jumped in and saved my life, but I also acquired PTSD. But I still come to work every day, and I have to tell you, the panic is unbelievable. Anyone can have a mental health disability. That's right. You could wear a suit or a pair of shorts. You could be rich or you could be poor. You could be a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. We must have accessible services. Yes. People with disabilities, we have to fight for a job. We have to fight to go to school. We have to fight to get in the hospital to get a cardiogram, get a heart checkup. We have to fight to get a therapist for mental health. We have to fight to find a house a housing apartment that we can actually get into because we may not be able to climb the stairs. We have to fight to go vote because the ballot marking device is not there. We have to fight to get on a train or a bus because it's not accessible. I am just so tired of fighting. But what I say to you, New Yorkers, you advocates, you cannot give up because one day you're gonna want to have accessible services. You're gonna want to have a peer. You're gonna want to have a clinician understand what it's like for you and not look you down because you're disabled. Yes. We are all temporarily able-bodied. Yes. From the mayor to a city council member to a New Yorker, it can happen to you at any time. Yes. I am here to preach about the peer program. The reason I'm going to preach about it because we know it works. Back in the 60s and the 70s, people with disabilities could not get into any place. But what did we do? We fought and we fought. We fought for Section 504, and based on 504, we had the independent living movement. What does that mean? Sydney, Center for Independence of the Disabled, is born out of the independent living movement, where we have peers, people with disabilities, helping other people with disabilities live your life, break down those barriers. It's very important. We've been around since 1978 and we know it works. Over 408 independent living centers across the United States. 41 of them serve the state of New York, and Sydney is the largest in New York City. I am proud to be the executive director. Last year alone, from June to 2024, July of 2024 to June of 2025, how many New Yorkers with disabilities we serve? 65,000! How many are here? 1.8 million! There's still so many people that need help, and we must advocate for peers because we know it works. You have to understand what it's like to be disabled. You have to understand what it's like to break down barriers, and you must fight the services that allows you to have access to a life. No life is worth, all life is worth everything. And I am tired for people to look at me as something less than, because we are not. You could be black or white, rich or poor, and services must be there. So be heard. It cannot just be police. It has to be peers. It has to be people, clinicians who understand what the need is. It's treatment. It's not police. It's not police. Peers 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 not police.
Woo! Thank you so much, Dr. Sharon. That was really inspiring. And I think another thing that has been brought up a little bit today, but can be touched on more, is that in the current political climate, regardless of your feelings, there is a lot of instability. And instability leads, or could lead, to crisis, which means we need services. It won't be surprising if there are an upshoot in calls. In fact, a new study showed that in New York, we were the 4th out of all of the states to utilize 988. We were the 4th most utilized, or I can't even say the word, whatever. We utilized it the 4th most out of the country. Wow. There are people who need support. We are talking about everyone in New York City. Anyone could get a Be Heard response. And like Dr. Sharon said, anyone can get a disability at any time. We are here today because we know that life and situations are precarious, and it could be us at any point needing services and a response. So that leads me to, I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental health care. 988 can send help there. Thank you. Woo! Our next speaker is Tony Phillips, who identifies as a peer and is from the Brooklyn Center of the Independence of the Disabled. Welcome, Tony. Yeah, I can use this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tony Phillips.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
And I for a day like this to come.
And I've been waiting for a day like this to come.
I want to ask first. So first of all, I want to talk about
I want to ask a question, but first of all, I want to talk about mental disability. Anybody can have a mental disability. You can walk down the street and something can hit you on the head. And that can cause your mental disability. You could fall, like the young lady said, and hit your head. And you could have a mental disability.
Oh, as you get older, okay,
As you get older,
you lose the your mind,
you lose something and your mind changes. And that's a mental disability. And we need to look at all of this and say, we don't need 911. We need a phone number that we can call and get help.
Why can't
scared of is we don't pay our rent. We get kicked out of our apartment. So why can't we have a number that we can call and we can get help?
That's right.
So if we go to the store, the first thing they ask for is, where's the money? And we don't have the money, so why can't we have a number that we can call so we can get help?
That's right.
Tony says he's gonna stir up a problem now. He wants to say something for all of the candidates who are running for mayor.
That's right.
I vote for you.
Why? I vote for you. You recognize me as
And how can I vote for you when you don't even recognize me as a person? You want my vote? You want my vote? Recognize me as a person. This is for every last candidate who's running for mayor. If you want my vote, you recognize me as a person. So some of the candidates see me and they know me because I belong to the National Action Network with Reverend Al. And if you don't believe that I'm a troublemaker, ask Reverend Al. Because Reverend Al will tell you he is a troublemaker. And this is what I'm going to say today. I am somebody. Recognize me. Because I am somebody.
I don't know how to get this back up. Someone help me. Well, I lowered it so it didn't block Mr. Pyle before. I'm just not very good at it. Actually, recently I competed in a show about how unhandy I am. Yeah, we lost. My friend was like, "You are the most useless person." And I said, "I'm good at organizing." That's right. Thank you. I think that's better. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ron. That was I'm sorry, Tony. So many speakers. Tony, that was so inspiring, and I really appreciate you coming out here and speaking your truth and the truth of so many New Yorkers, right?
Yes.
Who votes? We vote! Who votes? We vote! Who votes? We vote! Woo! Next up, we have one of the few people who can rival me in being loud. I know. Anyway, next up, we have Dr. V from the Women's Community Justice Association and Beyond Rosie's and Visionary V.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't hear you. Everyone need to be just as loud as Jordan. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.
I'm Dr. V, and I just simply want to say that we all matter.
Woo!
And that I'm tired of being on domestic soil having to remind elected officials, people in position of power, to make change, build communities, protect the most vulnerable, who often fall short in doing so. I'm tired of having to remind the elected officials in New York City and New York State that their constituents all matter, regardless of zip code, regardless of diagnosis, physical disabilities, or abilities. Even when you sometimes are cognitively not intact, you are worthy of someone making sure that you are okay. You are worthy of someone showing up when you are going through a crisis. Now, having worked in nursing, having worked behind correctional walls, I know all too well how often this city will funnel the most vulnerable, hide them away in hospital rooms and correctional cells, rather than give us the treatment and services that we are so worthy of. We say no more. The city can start, hear me when I say start, by fully funding 988. There is absolutely no reason that a system has been created to respond to mental health crises and concerns, and the city is still falling short. Name one ER that closes at 9 p.m. Name one ER that closes at 1 a.m. Yet the city still thinks NYPD should be the first ones to respond to anyone having a mental health crisis. Shame! Shame! The mayor and this city council are the ones we have to hold responsible to make sure that the monies are allocated in our zip codes, in our districts, to make sure that regardless of the hue of your skin, you will be protected while in crisis. Regardless of your tax bracket, you are worthy of adequate, timely medical care. We say no more. We say stop the games. Now is the time for everybody to unite, regardless of who you might have voted for. And I don't want to get political, but everything about this is political. And if you have not learned yet that if we don't unite to fight, they will trample all over our rights, you better get it together.
That's right.
I love you all, and I want you to understand that together we can win. Together we will win. But if we continue to allow these elected officials to move as they choose and not answer to their constituents, we will continue to suffer and fall short. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Each speaker, it's like bam, bam, bam. Get it from every angle. And that's what we're going to do in this hearing. Make some noise if you're going to go testify. Okay, so some of us, but you have up to 72 hours after the hearing concludes to submit written testimony. So please do submit that testimony. Okay, next up, we have steering committee member and the only person who is probably more dedicated to CCIT than me, my second mother, Ruth Lowenkron!
I am not old enough to be her mother. Ruth Lowenkron with the Disability Justice Program at New York Lawyers for the Public Interest, and as Jordan said, a very staunch, proud member of Correct Crisis Intervention Today, New York City. This is an issue we have been working on in the coalition and in my office for over a decade. Now is the time to transform the way New York responds to mental health crises. You heard one of our prior speakers talk about 21 individuals killed at the hands of the police when experiencing a mental health crisis. Shame! 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 But that only tells part of the story. 21 people. Do you know how many of them are people of color, primarily Black Americans?
Yeah.
Not all, but the vast majority, over 85%. Shame, shame, and more shame. The other thing that's part of the story not yet told is that's only for the last 9 years. We've had people killed 4 decades before that. We've had people killed outside of New York. We're just counting in New York City. We've had people who are seriously injured. We've had people who have been brought into the criminal legal system because cops answered the calls. They don't need to be brought into the criminal system. They are also being brought into hospitals and committed over objection. Shame, 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 and more shame. What are we going to do today? We're going to go over to 250 Broadway and we're going to testify that 988, as Dr. B said, is the beginning of what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need to replace 911, and that is so easy. Just swap out the numbers. That part is usually easy. And what we need to build is a solid program. Not be heard. You heard the statistics. Very, very, very frustrating, those statistics. When more of the calls go to cops than go to peers, than go to, well, they don't have any peers at all, then go to health workers. No, we say no to that. But we're going to say yes to 988 and a beefed up Be Heard system that has peers on it, that gets rid of police, that's 24/7, and that has a response time comparable to the response time of all other emergencies. We're not sitting back waiting for responses to come in 15, 20 minutes. No.
That's right. That's right. Because when you have a crisis and you need a response now, I messed up the chance.
988 now. 988 now. 988 now. 988 now! 988 now! 988 now! 988 now! 988 now!
We're gonna try the last chance again. I know it's a little complicated, but I really want to get it. Joelle, can you actually tape this on my phone? Yeah. Woo! The apps. We need things for the apps. Right? We'll do it like 3 or 4 times so I can cut it. You know, it looks good. Maybe we make a TikTok. Right? We're gonna be famous.
Why you still can't make it?
Yes, right? Well, the Chinese have my data because I'm on Red Note. So that's fine. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna read it again so everyone knows it, and then we'll do it, okay? I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental health care. 988 can send help there. That's right. 1, 2, 3. I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental health care. 988 can send help there. I need a response that knows what to do. 988 for me and you. Don't call the cops for mental because it's the public advocate. Before we get to that, my photographer wants to take some great pictures where everyone will be facing, turning around. He'll be up there. Well, you know, so if you guys can reorient yourselves to face City Hall, that would be great. And we will also do some chants because whoever's in there is gonna hear us. No, I think slide towards. He'll tell you what to do. I'll go up there and if he says, you know, I'll help. Okay. Go. You guys can go down a little bit. I'm sorry, I know you're working. We're trying. It's all for the website. Thank you. Woo! Not good.
Yep. You just need to take your side
Yeah,
whenever you
no problem.
Ready?
Even.
All right, look at me over here, everyone.
Woo!
Do it. Somebody do a chant. Do a chant.
988